that doesn't put you in a great mood, what a wonderful, wonderful choir we have. Welcome everyone to our Dessert First virtual edition for 2021. We're so excited to have you here tonight with us. I'd love to start off by introducing Steve, who is the Executive Director of Impact Services, in case you guys have not met him. And I'll let Steve start us off with a couple thank yous to our wonderful sponsors.
Jill, thanks. I so appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight to share what's going on. But you know what I want to do is I want to thank some people. Number one, I want to thank our sponsors for helping us out tonight. Our presenting sponsor, Connexus Energy. Connexus Energy has been a phenomenal supporter of us for a long, long time. So thank you to Connexus Energy. They're so enmeshed in the community and what the community is all about. Our game sponsors tonight were our Northeast Bank, Fairway Mortgage, and Master Machine. Again, thank you to them for their support and being willing to help us out. And then our table sponsors, we have 6 table sponsors. Dream Homes of Minnesota, Derek, thank you very much. Impact Accounting, Deb, again, thank you. Crowley, White, Helmer, and Selvig, Tony, appreciate your support. North Star Towing, Judy, we love Judy as well. Truck Riders with Pat, appreciate his support. And Weichert Realty, the Rod Schimmel agency. Rod, I appreciate your support as well. And then we have some business sponsors as well. They're Luther Ford, Daily Living, Border State Bank, Edward Jones, the Nate Klauser Office, Stepping Stone Emergency Housing, Grayson Hart, Kendra Miles Smith, Savalaw, and Concierge Title. So I just really appreciate our sponsors making this happen tonight, giving us the opportunity to have just a wonderful event, both in person and virtual. And they are making a big impact for our people tonight. I also want to thank our board of directors. You know, our board of directors is really, they're the people who cast the vision for our organization. They tell us where to go and how we're making an impact for the community, and they just do a phenomenal job. And I just appreciate their support, their vision for our organization, and I'm so excited as to our new strategic plan and where we're headed. And then I want to thank our Dessert First Committee as well. Jill, I want to thank you. Jill Morrison from, why am I blanking on your name? Help me out.
The irony of it.
Right?
The memorable marketing.
Oh my goodness, that is so bad of me. Jill has done a phenomenal job helping us out and spearheading all of this. I will just say this, if you're watching virtually tonight, plan to be there next year so you can see the phenomenal job that Jill has done.
Thank you.
Danielle Hedberg with Bold North Insurance, Tammy Larson with Title Smart, and Kendra Miles Smith with Grayson Hart, and Anita Spading with Anita Spading LLC. So
and
just
Alicia's wonderful.
and Alicia, yes, Alicia Baraga with Ripple Marketing as well. My goodness, I just so appreciate all that they have done to make this happen today. So a lot of people to thank. To make this happen. I'm going to thank other people later on, but I also want to make sure that I thank the staff of Impact Services for all that they do to make the daily workings of what we do happen. So, when you see our staff, if you're out volunteering, make sure that you share with them how much we all appreciate that they take care of all the day-to-day things for Impact Services.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I would love to take just a quick moment. Steve went through and talked about how huge of an impact those sponsors made and the amount of money they were able to contribute. There's an opportunity for you to sponsor somebody for just $20, and that allows us to feed them for an entire week. It's huge. It makes a large impact, and it's an easy ask. So I'll ask you as soon as we complete this program, or immediately right now, and then you can click back in and get back on with us immediately. We have an opportunity, a link in the description of this video where you're able to log on and you can select to either sponsor somebody for a week, which is $20, a month for $80, or the year for $1,040. And it makes a huge impact in the what we're able to do, how we're able to do it. And every small contribution really does go a long way, and we would really appreciate whatever you're able to donate. And the silent auction's open until 8, so be sure to check that out too, because there's some amazing items on there as well. All right, Steve, let's get down to the nuts and bolts of this. So obviously Dessert First is our big primary fundraiser for Impact Services. And when people think of Impact Services, Meals on Wheels for Anoka County.
Right.
What's new, what's happening with Meals on Wheels, pre-COVID, post-COVID, where are we at?
Right. Yeah, well, since the last time we've really seen people, Meals on Wheels has changed a lot in the last 2 years. When we met at Dessert First in 2019, we were serving who we had traditionally, the 19 or 17 communities that we had been serving for many, many years. The week after Dessert First got done in 2019, we got a phone call from the program that was serving the cities of Coon Rapids and Blaine. They wanted to have some conversation. Their catering contract wasn't being renewed. And they wanted to make sure that they could find somebody who could either help them find a new caterer or could at least take on the people that they were serving. So we started those conversations middle of October. We finished a merger with them the first week in December. So, right? So we brought on the cities of Coon Rapids and Blaine in December of 2019. Doubled the number of people that we were serving literally right after Thanksgiving. And we were doing really well. I mean, we were doing really, really well. It was very funny. Towards the end of January, I was sitting with our program director, Sue Patchen, and Sue and I were like, I think we know what we're doing here. We've been at this for about 8 weeks, and, things were just starting to really hum along. Right? Should have never said anything. And then, obviously, our world got rocked with COVID. And that really changed a lot for us. We were very fortunate that we were forward-thinking. We sat down with Unity Hospital and said, how do we make this happen? Because we knew how contagious COVID was. And we wanted to make sure that we were protecting people.
Right. Well, especially given the demographic that you serve.
Absolutely. With our seniors. And the reality is a lot of our drivers are seniors as well.
Sure.
So we had actually instituted a 4-phase delivery system. Phase 1, status quo, delivering 5 days a week. Phase 2, moved to 3 days a week with frozens for days that we weren't able to deliver. And then calling people the days that we weren't delivering to make sure that they still had that wellness check-in. Phase 3, delivering on Monday and Thursday. And then Phase 4, once a week, delivery, all frozen meals. And thank God we never got to number 4. I was so glad that we never had to go to delivering just once a week, because that interaction is so important for people. And we would get phone calls from, the people that we deliver to, because we went to a contactless delivery, just like, Grubhub or, DoorDash, where, they're just putting it on your front step. And that wellness check is so important. And we would have people share about the fact that they just craved having even a 30-second conversation.
Sure.
But they felt good about the fact that they knew that somebody was still coming, knocking on their door, leaving that meal on the step, stepping back to their car, waiting for, the person to come out, open the door, and at least get a wave.
Yep.
I think one of the really cool things that happened during this was, as things were starting to get a little bit better in the spring, one of our regular volunteers was at somebody's home, and the person made the comment, I just want a hug. And, let's be honest, during COVID, even family members, mom and dad and adult children were afraid to get too close. It broke my heart to see adult children sitting outside of a window at an assisted living facility having that conversation, or people who were putting up shower curtains so that they could give each other a hug. So we had this person go out and get stuffed animals. And got them cleaned up, and we would deliver them and say, you know what, this is something that you can hug. And, one person said, well, at least I have somebody to watch TV with me now. So, it's cool things like that, where you try and make the best situation possible out of something really, awful.
As somebody who talked to her houseplants throughout the majority of quarantine, because I was there alone, I get that. And that gets gnarly really quick. Yeah. And to have somebody drop something off that is just a token to know that somebody cares and to have that next to you, what a huge
Yeah.
impact I'm sure
Oh.
that was.
Just amazing. It's the small things that I think we were able to do during COVID that really made a difference for people.
Yeah.
Like I said, having those phone calls from, a volunteer, just, how are you doing today? And whether it was a 2-minute conversation or a 15-minute conversation, it gave them somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
And it also gave us an opportunity to get a little bit more information so that if there really was a situation that a family or an emergency contact needed to know about, we could make sure that we could make that happen.
Yeah.
One of the other really great things that we were able to do during COVID through the CARES Act, we had a $90,000 grant from Anoka County.
Wow.
So we were able
generous.
to take all of the people that we served. If they were getting 3 meals a day, we were able to move them to get 7 meals for the entire week. So
Wow.
we went from 3 meals a week that they were paying for to all of a sudden they're paying for their 3 and those other 4 are being taken care of to make sure that they were safe and in their own home. And then the other cool thing that we were able to do with that is we were able to provide some walk-up service.
Okay, what does that mean?
So we had meals that were at one of our drop-off sites at Restoration Church in Anoka, where anybody in the community could come and get a meal. No questions asked, just drive on up, tell us how many meals you needed, and we would take care of it for you. And, our thought about that was, we know the struggle that people had, and let's be honest, they're still having, right now.
Yeah.
I made the comment, we have no idea what anybody's situation is. You might be an attorney who works downtown, and you have 3 or 4 kids at home, and your wife lost her job because of COVID, and now you're struggling.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it, but you might be. And, to be able to have just an opportunity where somebody just drive up, get the meals that they need, go home, back to work, was really a cool opportunity. So it was a phenomenal thing that we were able to do. And then the great thing out of that, because of the generosity of the Twin Cities, and through Metro Meals on Wheels, we were able to extend those meals for people. We've been able to extend those all the way through December of this year, which
Wow.
is phenomenal.
Wow.
The other thing that COVID has really shown us, it's exposed this demographic in our community that I think everybody knows is there, but we don't talk about. So, half of the people that we serve are on some type of waivered service through the county, so their meals are being taken care of through a government subsidy. And then the other half are private pay people. When COVID started, we would get phone calls from people, I need help. And, we would share with them, here's what this is, tell them what the meals cost, and then you get this silence. And that just breaks my heart because that person is like, I just can't afford that private pay cost.
this meal,
I
but
need
I
this meal,
can't
right, I
afford
just
it.
can't afford it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So to be able to have funding, to be able to say, you know what, during this time,
Yeah.
we're gonna take care of this for you. And our goal is to work with them to figure out, are there programs that you qualify for so we can help you make sure to maintain these moving forward?
Yeah.
Or can we figure out how to private pay for this yourself? So it's that segment of our community is not going to go away.
No.
It's only going to get bigger and bigger as we see more and more people turn 65 and our senior population get bigger and bigger all the time. So there's a great need in our community for meals.
Absolutely. And the dignity of a warm meal delivered to their door.
Yep.
That's wonderful.
Right. And, the other part of this is our volunteers. Our volunteers are the rock bed and rock stars
Yes.
of what we do.
Yeah.
Every day, we have 45 people out in the community.
45 every day.
45 every day, delivering, and the other thing I didn't share was in June of this year, we actually started serving the southern part of Anoka County as well.
Oh, yeah, we forgot your
Yeah,
second
it just-
expansion
right?
during this.
Yes. So, we doubled our size in December of 2019, and then we basically tripled it when we took on the southern part of Anoka County. So now we serve all of Anoka County, the city of Champlin, And yeah, we have 45 people who are out delivering, no matter whether it's downtown Anoka,
Yeah.
out in Lino Lakes, here in Champlin. And our volunteers make all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
And the reality is we need more volunteers. And I want to just give people a flavor so they understand what that volunteer experience is all about. So I'm just going to ask people if you could watch this video. It gives you just a little bit of a taste from one of our volunteers as well as one of our meal recipients. So you can understand what that volunteer experience is
looks
all
like.
about.
Yeah.
And the impact you're making for the people that we serve.
Absolutely.
So, let's go ahead and watch that video.
6 years ago, the end of September, so I felt I needed to get involved doing things, and I have been doing it ever since. So it's just really rewarding, and everybody needs to eat, and a lot of people can't go to restaurants and things, so this comes right to their door. Well, you know, I'm a baker, and I love to bring baked goods, and they really do appreciate it. A lot of them can't bake anymore, and they really rely on the Meals on Wheels and some fresh things. So get a lot of comments on, you really are great at doing this, and we really appreciate it.
I like the fact that I get one good meal a day, and I don't have to cook it because I don't do very much, mostly microwave. Always had everybody done so nice. I've never had one crabby person in this place.
We are always looking for more volunteers. It's a great opportunity for people who are recently retired to keep them active. It's a great opportunity for homeschoolers as well to get their kids active and doing something during the day. You know, I would tell you that the people that we serve, they love seeing kids. So if you've got kids at home and you're looking for a purpose to get them out and do something and show them what service is all about in our community, we would love to have them join us.
That guy's a rock star.
Yeah, he is a rock
The
star.
above and beyond he took throughout all of that. But it definitely, it shows how rewarding that is. I think that one important thing that we forgot to mention before the video started that I want to make sure we touch base with is that one of the major reasons you need more volunteers is that the standard demographic of those who've helped are such as that gentleman who is retired.
Right.
And given the climate of what's going on right now, they don't feel as comfortable
Right.
going out. And so what does it look like on, as far as a time commitment?
Yep.
And then what have you seen as the people who, outside of the retired
Sure.
grouping,
Yep.
who else have been able to help?
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half commitment.
That's
Usually,
it?
that's it. 11 o'clock, you're done by usually about 12:30, even earlier than that most of the time.
Wow.
You'll see 8 to 10 people most of the time.
Okay.
I think this is a great opportunity for businesses to get their employees involved.
Oh, wow, I didn't even think of that.
So if you're a bank, if you're a small business, mid-size, large size, it's an easy way for you to show the community that you're invested.
Yeah.
And you're giving your employees time, whether it's over their lunch break or an hour to volunteer, the Dollars for Doers or,
Yep.
those are the people that we really want to reach out to. The other demographic that I think is phenomenal is, parents or a stay-at-home mom who might have kids who are at home as well,
Yeah.
young kids. Oh my goodness, our seniors love to see little kids. They love their little energy, and yeah, I mean, little kids are cute. Let's not lie.
Right. They say the darndest things.
They sure do. But, for our seniors, when they see a young child come to their door and hand them their meal, their eyes just light up.
Sure.
And I think it's a great way to show our kids what it is to be involved in the community as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, businesses and, stay-at-home parents with smaller kids, or homeschool,
Yeah.
families as well would be phenomenal demographics for us.
That would be, so if you know of anybody, or you might be somebody who falls within one of those categories, again, please reach out, head over to our website, reach out to Steve directly, and we'd love to get you signed up, get a little bit more information, and see, even if it's once a month,
Absolutely.
even if you go one time, you just need
We'll-
help.
We will fit whatever your schedule allows.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I just want to sneak that in there. I know it didn't exactly fall within our outline.
It's all
but
good.
I'm making it up as I go, I swear. But I want to also touch base on the answers to aging education.
Yeah.
Because this is pretty amazing stuff that you guys have taken on to go with in conjunction with
Right.
Meals on Wheels.
Right.
You talk to me about what that is, what that
Yeah.
means, and what you guys do.
Yeah, so the answers to aging, it's really a curriculum to help families talk about the aging process.
Sure.
You know, I think most people think, you know, as long as I have my estate plan done, everything is rock
The
solid.
documents are sitting with the attorney. We're good.
Right, exactly. Oh, you know, and mine are in the, you know, they're in my sock drawer, so we're all good. You know, every kid
No one heard
knows.
that.
Every kid knows that's where mom and dad put them. But nobody talks about the 5 to 10, 15 years previous to death. You know, I use the analogy of the Titanic.
Okay.
Everybody's seen the movie.
Yeah.
You got the two, you know, guys who are up in the crow's nest. They're looking for icebergs. They saw the iceberg.
Yep.
They radio it down. They make the turn. They still hit the iceberg. It wasn't the iceberg that they saw. It wasn't that part of the iceberg that sunk the Titanic. It was the ice that was underneath the water.
Sure.
The thing that wasn't seen.
Oh, wow, this is very
Right?
impact. Look at you.
Those are the things that sink families during the
Yeah.
aging process. It's the things that we don't think about or the things that we don't talk about.
Sure.
And, you know, the reality is most people wait for a crisis to happen and then they react.
Yep.
And we know that we're not in our best minds when we're in crisis. So this curriculum is really trying to help families sit down and say, what is it that mom and dad want, you know, during the next 5, 10, 15 years to help them age with dignity and honor?
Sure.
And I say, you know, as an adult child or as a caregiver, I want to help you do this and I want to be successful doing it, but I can't do that if I don't know what you want.
Yeah.
So let's have a conversation.
Sure.
Our curriculum is kind of the 20,000-foot view of, you know, the aging process. There's simple questions that lead families into a larger, more intimate conversation that their family needs to have. We have videos on our website as well as at QCTV that bring in some of the experts from our community
Yeah.
that talk about the different things that families need to know, whether it's housing, estate planning, you know, the financial aspects of aging. You know, there are just things that people don't know. They wait too long to find out.
Or may not know. You don't know what you don't know.
You don't know
sometimes.
what you don't know. And, you know, the reality is, you know, we do wait until we need something to go and research it.
Yep.
But most of the time in that situation, it's too late.
Right.
You know, when your plumbing is leaking, you know, hopefully you know either how to go and shut off the main valve.
Yep.
Because if you haven't done that, you're going to have water all over the place.
Yep.
You know, it's kind of the same thing. Let's have the conversation, know what we need to know, have a plan in place that all of the caregivers, all of the adult children have been in on so that everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
We don't always have to agree about it,
Yep.
but at least we know where we're headed.
So huge.
Yeah, and, you know, I think one of the exciting things for us in the next couple months, we're moving all of this onto our website so people can just download it, work on it at their own pace.
Yeah.
And I just tell people, because people are like, where do I start? I said, start with where your family's biggest need is, and you'll know what that is. Just start with the
Yeah.
questions. They're meant to just kind of break the ice so your family can talk about them.
Just get the conversation
Yeah,
going.
and if you need more information, you know, feel free, you know, reach out to me. I'm more than glad to sit down and talk with people.
Yeah.
To give them some tips as to how to do that. We also will have some seminars coming up in the next few months as well to help people navigate some of that as well.
Because it can be dicey.
Mm-hmm.
Because mom and dad might not feel that they're at the point where they need to be having that
Right.
conversation.
Right.
And to your point, hopefully they're not.
Exactly.
When you're having that conversation.
Exactly.
And doing it ahead of time and making sure that you know where they're at, what their wishes are, and you can lay out a plan and a roadmap right out the gate. I
Yep.
think that's huge.
Absolutely.
And there's already, some of the information is on the website already.
Yes.
So-
Yes. But all of it will be there. We're actually working on a couple other segments that we're hoping to get up by the end of the year surrounding caregiving, and then obviously, you know, the very last stages of,
Sure.
you know, whether it's hospice care and then, you know, death and the funeral planning. But, I mean, it's critical information for families to be set up for success in caregiving for mom and dad.
What a great spot to have just a hub of resources right there.
Right.
And then you can take it from there.
Yep.
Ask your questions, find out what you need to know
Yep.
from there. All right, so I cannot wait to talk about the next part that you guys do, which is what we started with.
Right.
Which is the Voices of Impact
Yeah.
Choir. They're so talented and so uplifting. Will
Yeah.
you talk to me a little bit more about how that got started and who's eligible
Sure.
for that?
Yeah. You know, the Voices of Impact, how did that get started? You know, it's one of those things where I call them God incidences because I'm a Care 11 news watcher, I mean, pretty faithfully. And
Yeah.
for some reason, one night I'm watching Channel 4.
Yeah.
And I see this news story about this choir that's down in Minneapolis that is geared towards people who are in the early to mid stages of dementia and their caregivers.
Yeah.
And they're using music to open up memory. And, you know, I'm not afraid to say that I watched that, and when that story was done, I was in tears. And I was like, that is the
Absolutely.
coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
To hear caregivers talk about the fact for these 2 hours when we're here, I have my loved one back. Is
It's gonna make me
just
cry.
amazing.
Yeah.
And I came to our board and I said, these are the things that we need to bring into our community. It's not here.
Yeah.
This choir, the only one that's around is in downtown Minneapolis. It's not something that somebody, if you're not familiar with Minneapolis, you don't want to go down there.
No. One ways alone will throw
right.
you into a tizzy.
Exactly. So, you know, we started our choir about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, we were very fortunate. We had Bruce Phelps, who was the choir director for Anoka High School for many, many years.
Yep.
Jill Adjicum, who works for Anoka County with their Community Caregiver Connection program. The two of them and some other people in the community coming together and saying, how do we make this happen?
Yeah.
And we started this in the fall of 2018. And it's one of the coolest things I've ever been involved in, to see people come alive through music. One of the things that research shows is that memories that are attached to music are the last area of the brain that dementia and Alzheimer's can penetrate. So think of yourself.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a child of the 80s. You know, think of when you listen to the radio. Like, I mean, if
Right.
there's a Journey song that comes on, I'm not sure what, you know.
Backstreet Boys.
Okay,
for
there you
obvious
go.
reasons.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that puts you right back into it. You know,
Absolutely.
you're like, I know exactly where I was when I heard that song, who I was with.
Yep.
You know, it's no different. You know, and it doesn't even have to be music that people know. It's just music itself that
Yeah.
opens up memory. To hear the members of our choir say, these 2 hours on Monday are the highlight of my week. I look forward to this every week. I can't wait for it to come because I get to be with my friends. I get to sing songs that I know. And for caregivers to say, I have my loved one back. It's just, it's, number one, it's super cool. Number two, it's incredibly uplifting.
Yeah.
And they've created this great community. And I tell people they are not by any means the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, but they sing with so much joy.
Yes.
And they have so much fun and so many laughs. And I think one of the things that happens with, and we hear this, that people who are living with dementia, their caregivers find themselves isolated a lot because it's easy to manage dementia in their own home and in an environment that they're used to.
Right.
And they don't have a lot of outlets. And
Yeah.
this is a very simple outlet of being with people who are in the same situation as they are, who understand that.
Yeah.
And they just have so much joy when they're together. You know, we're so proud to be able to offer that. And I will tell you that they met via Zoom over COVID, and like I really expected that this would not be, you know, a great opportunity for them.
Right.
But they did not lose anybody over Zoom. One of the coolest things, the second week that they met in the summer, I watched a gentleman come in, and one of his friends saw him, and obviously they hadn't seen each other in 18, 19 months.
Yeah.
Saw him walk in, and he was just waving him over to sit right next to him so they could sing next to each other. That is just cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so, it's so impactful to see those relationships that are there.
Yeah.
And to know that we're able to provide joy for them.
Yeah.
You know, in that situation. So, you know, during COVID, you know, we weren't able to have a live performance.
Right.
But as you know, one of the things that happened during COVID, that there were a lot of virtual concerts.
Yes.
And we did the same thing. And I will tell you that, you know, the theme of ours was "Let there be peace on earth," because
Amen.
we had all of that turmoil that was going on, you know,
Yeah.
in the Twin Cities, and this was during the holiday season. And they ended with that song. And we're going to have a chance to watch it. So, folks, I'm going to have you just tune in and hear the choir sing "Let There Be Peace on Earth," and let it begin with me, as the song says. So let's enjoy that for a few minutes. You can get a little flavor for who they are and what they do. So again, just sit back and enjoy the music. I absolutely love that song. I love the passion that those people sing that song with.
Yes.
And it is just powerful. So folks, you've heard a lot from us tonight about Impact Services. You know, the reality is that, you know, we have so many people who make things happen.
Yeah.
You know, our volunteers are the life, or the life of what we do, and I can't thank them enough for what they do. But I'm just going to take one last opportunity to just say, again, we're here to support the services of Impact Services. You know, our Meals on Wheels program. You know, right now we're serving about 400 people every day,
That is so crazy.
right?
Wow. All of
And
Anoka County.
All of Anoka County. I anticipate that we might be up to 450 people before we get to the end of the year as winter comes about.
Sure.
You know, our Answers to Aging program, you know, our choir, the Voices of Impact. Folks, I'm just going to ask if you could just go to our website and make a donation. As Jill said at the very beginning, a $20 donation will provide meals for an individual for a week. That $20 could also help one of our choir members have music for the season.
I love that.
So, you know, every donation, big or small, helps us meet the mission of what we want to do. You know,
Absolutely.
of providing nutritious meals and enabling our neighbors to live independently.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jill, I just so thank you for all that you've done to help make this happen tonight. And look forward to hopefully in 2022,
Fully in-person event.
right? As much as I love being here at QCTV, and QCTV is a phenomenal supporter of
Absolutely.
what we do, boy, we would love to have everybody back in person. So I'm going to kick it back to you just for a conclusion.
Perfect.
And I just want to say thanks to everybody for tuning in tonight.
And I would be remiss if I didn't say that you are the absolute lifeblood of this organization. You do so much for this community. You are absolutely everywhere, making sure that what Impact does, the mission, that people are served meals with dignity, that everything is taken care of, that they are seen and they are heard and they are appreciated. And you make such a huge difference in Anoka County and Champlain that it doesn't go unnoticed, and it really, I mean, for that alone, the amount of work he puts in, you should just tack another $20 onto your donation because the amount of work that you are doing should be seen even further, and it is absolutely incredible. So on behalf of Steve, on behalf of Impact Services, thank you so much for watching this evening. Please donate. Check out the silent auction items. Again, that closes at 8 o'clock, which I believe we should be coming up on here pretty quick. So check those out, make a donation, and we look forward to seeing you next year. Thank you so much.